What's going on? Welcome to Straight Out of the Herf Zone. We are back after, gosh, it's been quite a while as far as the hiatus goes. So, no need to get into all the details of that. I'm just glad to be back. Glad to put out some exciting content for everybody. This week, I encountered somebody that has been a subscriber of my YouTube channel for like 5 years. He came into the shop, and that kind of inspired me. Like, you know what? I got to start making some phone calls, get back out there, and that's exactly what we're doing today. So tonight, I have a very special guest, Mr. Mel Shah. He's from Mbombay Cigars. You might remember his brand from several years back, and then they took the hiatus, and then now he's back. And so we're gonna find out what he's been up to. Get his story. Just catch up. I've known him online for quite a few years now. Have not met him in person, but we talk all the time. Super good people. So without further ado, welcome to Straight Out of the Herf Zone, Mel Shah. How you
You
doing, bro?
guys doing? Hey, Mike, what's going on, buddy?
Nothing much, man. It's been a long but good day. I'm lighting up at M. Esteli from Mbombay.
Oh,
And
nice.
a matter of fact, is it Bombay? Is it pronounced Bombay or Mbombay? Because I keep saying Mbombay.
Mbombay is the brand, and then we have MSLE, M Cuba, Kesara, and Gaia as the brands.
Okay, so it's not pronounced Bombay, but Mbombay is cool.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
cool. Because that's what I say every single day, and I just don't want to be wrong.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right, cool. Well, man, me and you have known each other online since like you first came out. I've been around the cigar community, and now I'm in the industry full time. And I just remember back in the day when Bombay first came on the scene, and you're so active on social media. You're just like, yeah, you're like, hey, cool, bro. Like every time I would post something, like, awesome, and I'm like, is this guy even human? And so it's good that we have your positive energy back into the industry. So for those who may not know about Mbombay, we're going to take them back to the beginning and tell us about when you first came on the scene. Like, what inspires you to start your own cigar brand?
So my history is we have a small cigar bar, a wine bar in Palm Springs, California, Southern California,
Yeah.
and the worm was always there. Why not me? Since 2001, I opened the shop. Went to a lot of factories, met with a lot of people about having a cigar uh, under my brand. But the problem was getting quality tobacco, getting the right kind of tobacco, because I just did not want to have a cigar which is already on the shelf. I needed myself to distinguish, um, not distinguish. I would rather use the word very. I wanted it to be very unique.
Yeah.
We always had a knack of, or wanted to present the cigar which is well aged with quality tobaccos and offers unique flavors, not trying to be just like another cigar that is already on the shelf. So 2008, I land in Costa Rica and started working literally in the factory with the factory um, for 4 more years, for till 2012. I used to go there every month like a clockwork.
Mm.
Just treated myself as an intern, trying to know what happens, why it happens, what needs to happen. And the owner of the factory took me under the wing. And finally, 2012, we started making cigars under the brand name M Bombay, which we released in 2014.
Okay.
So that is how Mbombay began. And it was going all the way very good till 2019.
Okay.
And then we had COVID. COVID happens. And we kind of unfortunate for us, we kind of like suffered some losses during that time. And everything was back on track in late 2021, 2021, 2022 beginning. And 2022, I had some health issues with had a heart attack
Oh
and
wow.
bedridden for almost a year and a half. um, so it was a shocking thing, and I had to take a time for myself. And now we're back on track. I hope there is no stopping now.
Oh, most definitely. And I mean, you're the same as before. You always had that positive attitude, that go getter energy, and when Bombay first came out of the scene, it's like you couldn't turn around online and not see somebody smoking in Bombay. And just the way you are as a person is gonna elevate you even more now that everything's back on track. So you guys kind of this year at PCA, you guys, started, releasing everything, getting everything on track. And, I know at our shop, Smoke Ring 72, my boss, Lou, he was talking
No,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
What actually happened? We went to PCA just to say hi.
Ah,
We did not have any booth this year,
ah.
and I probably cigars at on the Avenue Dawn.
Yeah. Yeah. Don's good friends with Lou. So,
Yeah, so we were sitting down smoking a cigar, and uh, Don introduced me to Lou, and it just happened that Don said, Why not smoke rings?" I said, "There's nothing like that, but there is no booth. Like I don't even have a price list right now."
yeah.
So he was like, "Don't worry about it. Just you are more than your family. Come on in. Let's make it happen." And that's the reason M. Bombay came in.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, as soon as Lou said that, I was like, I told him about, how I knew you from back in the day and everything. And I was like, being the only shop in Brevard County to carry in Bombay, like, this is something exciting. It's like, we have certain exclusives and stuff that we like to push, stuff that, only we have. And so it just did my heart good to see,
Good.
to be able to help you get known in this area, and because, it's got to gain that traction that it once had. It takes a while to kind of like hand sell. But one thing that I haven't seen any other companies do this, but you do a spliff for people, who are, retailers, selling Bombay. We get a certain amount of money off of each sale. Um, what made you come up with that idea?
Um, I know that if a customer comes to our shop, I'm the first contact the customer makes. The person in the humidor.
Yep.
Um, if I get motivation, I like the cigar. I get the motivation to sell. Um, I think I should share that. Uh, I should appreciate that, and that is my way of appreciating the tobacconist, the managers, the clerks at the shop. Like you handle the humidor, so I want to appreciate that, which works hand in hand both ways.
Yeah, most
Like,
definitely.
and if a tobacconist understands our product, has smoked our product, um, see the uniqueness of it, the the reason why it is a $20 cigar or an $18 cigar or a $31 cigar for or M Cuba or even a $12 cigar that you're smoking right now, there
Yeah,
is difference, and I want that to be transcripted to the customer, and it's just our way of saying thank you to the staff.
absolutely. And I think so far, it's been successful, at least for me. The first month, I had reached a certain level, got a certain amount, and then, last month, every month is going to be different. It just depends on the amount of people come in, because obviously people will start finding it suspicious if I'm just trying to push them on one cigar brand, like every single time they come in there. But based on the natural interactions and the natural flow, I think that, retailers that and I'm speaking for me, but as somebody who works for a retailer, but anybody that participates that sells in Bombay, like, I mean, it's a no brainer, especially somebody like me. I don't need that incentive in order to sell in Bombay. Like, it's a good cigar. Like, you want a good cigar, like, hey, this is what you're willing to spend. Like, well, here you go. Like, you spend X amount of hours of your day trading it for money, and by the time you go to spend that money, you don't want to feel like you've been duped. You want something that's quality, somebody that's taken um, the time to think stuff out and not just throw some leaves together and slap a band on it.
No, it's not like that. It's
Yeah, the great care is what you take is what I'm saying.
it, that's been our philosophy from get go, and honestly, I'll be very honest about this. Is like this break of 4 years. It helped us actually understand. We were not normally sitting on cigars for a year and a half, 2 years
Yeah,
before we release the cigars. But this gap of 4 years where the cigars were continuously being made for us, and once you smoke an eight cigar after 4 years of sitting of the post production, it just the dynamics of the cigar just completely changes.
hmm
And we were when we started noticing that, is like, okay, this is a great way to let's not jump on it. Let's not just start pushing the cigars left, right, and center. Have some patience and release it the way when it is ready to be released. So this hiatus of 4 years helped us a great bit, and the proof is in the pudding.
absolutely. Now, from the time you guys released your cigars originally to now, this is all the same blends, all the same cigars and everything. You just you're back, you're better than ever. So take us through like the concepts of the names behind the brands. You got the Gaia line,
Yeah.
Kisara, M Cuba, like, so, and the MS Delhi. So
So
let's start with Gaia. What's the concept behind like the name? I always think it's very
behind the
interesting.
name Gaia means Gaia. In America we pronounce it as Gaia, but or GaajA, because of the phonetics. But the word is Gaj,
Okay,
and Gaj means elephant, and that is the reason, like, yeah, of course the Indian heritage played a big role in coming up with nomenclature of the cigars. So Gaj was that. Kesar, Kesara actually is Kesar. Kesar is saffron. And the reason why saffron is the way the tobacco smells and tastes, the floralness of the cigar, the muskiness of the cigar, is that is the reason we termed it as queso. And then came MS Tele in 2019. MS Tele just wanted to recognize the type of blend or we are using Nicaraguan fillers in the cigar. So we wanted to you also. I would not use the word copy some somebody's blend or something like that, but enhance we in our way of enhancing the cigars and the way it is made in our factory. We wanted to like put the name of Esili, and because M comes in front of all of our names like M Bombay or M
Yeah,
Cuba, so why not M Esili? So that is the reason
exactly.
M Esili came. And M Cuba was, of course, QBA. We wanted to trademark it, and we could not get M Cuba at all or Cuba at all. So we said, why not M Cuba? So M Cuba came.
Yeah, when before, because I was familiar with a lot of your stuff, but then they, actually carrying it at the shop when we first did our cut and light with John Carney and with Mike.
Yeah.
I was pronouncing stuff all kinds of incorrect, and then John Carney like set me straight. He was like, "But I still call it that." I was like MQB. He was like MQ, and I was like, "You know what? That makes a lot of sense." So I mean, and the thing about the thing that I've liked since the beginning about in Bombay, none of your stuff tastes like anything else on the market. You get one, brand A, can taste similar to brand B, et cetera, et cetera. You guys are using, tobaccos from Paraguay, from Peru, Dominican, Nicaraguan tobaccos. Like, you're one of the few companies that you're not scared to take that risk as far as being different. What made you decide to work with the Peruvian and Paraguayan tobaccos, like when you originally were coming up with your blends?
So I'll be very straight here. Is for any factory, you know, they make the cigars based on what they have on their hand. Um, Easily sourceable. They have it in stock. The tobacco is aged properly. It is fermented properly. So now, if I say, "Oh, let me make cigars with XYZ tobacco," which we don't have, we have to source it,
Hmm.
ferment it, age it, and then comes the time where I would be able to blend that tobacco with something else. Now we're talking at least 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah,
So the factory was working with these tobaccos in the past. So, and I'm really fortunate where they would say, "Okay, Mel, we are going to use, or you can use these tobaccos that, and you come up with your permutations and combinations, and let's rock." So that is where I'm using these tobaccos, and blending part is something where it's not about taking risk or something, but try to do the best that you can do with what you have. And that is exactly the thought process that I had when in 2014 when we launched our brand. And uh, it just I was not aware that people are not using these cigar or this kind of tobaccos. Which when Paraguay came, when we used when we started using tobaccos from Peru for Gaia. We also
yeah.
use tobacco, Peruvian tobacco for quesara as well. So
Mhm.
when we started doing that, I was shocked that nobody used it. I mean, like they used very small, but it was not even advertised.
Yeah,
Might be having some Peruvian tobacco, but like M Cuba, we use Paraguay. Nobody has. I have never heard. it just dawned on me like, nah, let me find a cigar from Paraguay. I could not find any.
Yeah,
So maybe people don't associate that countries with tobacco, or they have not been using it.
yeah,
But again, like it was not something that we went there, fetched the tobacco, and started using it. It was that was available, and that was aged, that was fermented properly, and then we used it.
absolutely. Now, I recently smoked the M Cuba for the first time because I was holding off because of the price point, even though I get employee pricing and all that. But I was just like, I was I was just like, okay, like I smoked everything else in the line, but I was like, I got to try this because one day Lou actually was he smoked two of them back to back, and I was like, okay, this is my cue to just go ahead so that way I can sell this better, you know. And now that I've smoked M Cuba, like it's a very good mild cigar. I was impressed with the cedary notes that I got from it, and that cigar is phenomenal. Like
I'm glad you like it.
phenomenal. Yeah, I've sold a few people on it. As soon as somebody tells me they don't care or they don't have a certain price range they stick to, I'm like, you got to try this cigar, and boom, like it's all positive reviews from there. So
Yeah.
now let me ask you this: like one day in the future, now that you've been established and everything, and you go to work on something new, like a new blend, are there any tobaccos that you've been curious about to possibly work with in the future?
2026, we are coming out with a cigar known as Mora.
Okay.
And Mora, we are using Mexican San Andres wrapper,
Oh, nice. I love Mexican San Andreas wrappers.
but it would be with Mbombay twist.
Yeah.
So we're using Paraguay tobacco in Mora that we're releasing in 26.
Nice. Uh,
So it's a complete. I mean, again, um, as I mentioned earlier, I do not want Bombay cigars to be sitting on the shelf saying that, oh, if you like this, or this is very similar to that. No,
yeah.
it should stand out on the flavor.
Yep. I mean, I could look somebody in the eye and be like, "You will not find a cigar that tastes like this ever." It's like you just need to try it. Stop going to the same old cigar,
Hmm.
and you got to try this.
Yeah, yeah, and then like and that is the reason like the Swift program that like I need your help to convey that message and your confidence. You deal with customers every day. You know your traffic. You know your people that the regulars that come in, or the mindset that people. I cannot operate it sitting here.
Yep.
So you are my clone there.
Absolutely, and like, and I got good relationships with a lot of brand owners, and when I tell you, like, in a quickness, you'll just hit me up randomly, but like checking in on things, like out of any brand owner, and not saying anything negative towards anybody, but you're like the most attentive, so it just makes me continue wanting to sell in Bombay. So,
Yeah.
but let me see here. We've gotten to wrapper, binder, filler, and all that type of stuff. But like I was telling you, like I like to get to know, the person behind the cigar. So, just on a note of, how did you originally get into smoking cigars?
Oh boy. Uh, I smoked my first cigar in '96, and I moved to United States in 2000, late 2000, and 2001 we opened up the shop in Palm Springs, and it's just when I finished my first cigar, uh, it kind of like just won me over that I can do this all day long, and I like the feeling behind it. I like the camaraderie. I like the social aspect behind it. I can um, relate to somebody who else was smoking this cigar with me that time. So it was like, why not cigars? So that is the reason we opened up the cigar shop in Palm Springs.
Absolutely.
It's
Now,
the culture. It's the culture that called. Like
yeah,
working with mindless people.
Absolutely. And the thing about cigar culture, it doesn't matter what your background is. You can be, the garbage man to being a cop to, being an attorney, whatever. Like, McDonald's worker. Like you can, like we're all. The only time in life where the playing field is all level is when you're sitting down having a cigar, because nobody gives a fuck how much your cigar costs. If you're enjoying it,
No, it's
smoke
that.
what you can afford and enjoy, and then from there it's a level playing field. So
Yeah, yeah, no, no, and like that 5 people or 10 people sit down in our lounge, and we sit down and light up a cigar. That's the best part of my day when I'm enjoying the cigar with somebody else. I don't care where he's from or what he's doing or what
yep,
cigar he's smoking.
yep,
It's that mindset is low, and in the switch is on for social. Like I want to socialize.
hmm,
So that aspect is is what calls for it.
yeah, most definitely. And you being a retailer, and also being a cigar brand owner, you kind of understand like both mindsets on things. Like, what are some of your personal philosophies on being a cigar retailer?
Um, philosophies.
If you have any,
Well, not in a way of like a philosophy, but like every store is different, every market is different. But when it comes to a cigar store, what my thought process, and which I would say would be similar to many other cigar stores, is what am I offering different to my customer? Um, I need the uniqueness of the cigar or of a brand. Um, um I need to understand their availability or the stock that is there. If I start pushing the brand, if I start selling the brand, I need to make sure um, the stock is always available to me. Um, Something which is very when I sell a cigar, and I'm not just trying to convey my point. My thing is, when we are in Southern California, where the tax rate is 55% on
yeah,
wholesale cost. When some and we are on more of a tourist destination, very seasonal. But when a customer comes in who is a cigar smoker, who is an avid cigar smoker, who smokes more than 2 cigars a week, I like to listen to what he smokes, and I want to sell him a cigar which he would enjoy based on his palate, based on the cigars that he enjoys. And I want to make sure that after he finishes that cigar, he stands up and says, "Give me a box of that cigar." Or he would give me a call saying that, "Mel, you sold me these 2 cigars last time. Phenomenal. Can you send me those 2 boxes?" That's my fine. If that happens, that is where I go with.
yeah,
And that's my, like, if I feel that a cigar that I'm smoking, I cannot recommend it because of various reasons.
yeah,
It may be price, it may be taste, may be flavor. Oh, why should I sell the cigar which is already on my shelf and try to bring something new which is going to taste similar to that?
yeah.
So
That's really the balance, like in retail, because like Lou always says, you're putting somebody else on, taking somebody away from one cigar to switch them out to another cigar. Like, if they're already, if they don't know, if they're perfectly happy with that cigar, and he's not making any more money still on the other cigar. I mean,
no, yeah,
you want, you want that experience. you want that person to keep coming back. It's, especially if you're not making any more money off the other cigar, might as well keep what you got.
Yeah, like money is something where a cigar smoker, when goes to a humidor, right? They have they we all are cigar smokers. Um, if I walk into a humidor, I'm comfortable with X amount of dollars. I don't want to disturb that X amount of dollars.
Yep.
If this person wants to spend $15 on a cigar, we have a $15 pricing. If this customer is comfortable spending $25 on a cigar, we have that. If somebody wants to spend, or then like different people, different budgets, different way of smoking cigar, and I recommend a cigar based on what they. That is the reason. The number one question I ask: what do you smoke? Oh, I
Yep.
smoke Monte Cristo, Monte Cristo White Label. Or I smoke Rocky Patel. Or I smoke Padron. I only smoke Padron Anniversario. I only smoke this. Now I get it. Okay. Now let me talk about a cigar that I would recommend if you are mentally ready to make a switch. Or I have your Padron Anniversario.
Hmm.
So like I'm a cigar smoker, and it is very hard for somebody to come up and tell me that Mel smoked this cigar today. I personally, even if the cigar is really good, I'm like, why am I not smoking my regular cigar? Why did he give me this cigar? He did not ask me any questions. He doesn't know what I like, what I don't like, what have I eaten something, have I not eaten something? What? So it's if I don't build up that rapport, um, and not be pushy. So
Oh,
that's where I would try to like or try to smoke a different cigar if that person understands me.
yeah.
So
Now, outside of your own brand, I like to ask brand owners this because you're also a retailer, so you obviously sell other people's stuff. What do you like to smoke outside of M Bombay?
I smoke everything, brother. Oh my God, I smoke everything. I want to enjoy everything, but I'm very analytical with smoking. Um, Whenever I light a new cigar, it's always okay. What is so different about this cigar? Why is it tasting like that? How long has he? Does he say that? How long has this been aging? All the other factors. Is it burning right? Does it look okay? And just to come back to a question about what I like or what I smoke, um, I somehow like the Arturo Fuente Don Carlos.
That's a good cigar.
I like Ashton VSG. I probably am sitting on 50 to 60 boxes of VSGs of the Bellicoso from 2008.
Oh wow.
So that is I would smoke that cigar quite often. What else? I like tatuajes. Once in a while. Somehow it just for me certain tatuajes are I call it tasty in my word. You might call it something else, but uh, the milder versions I like more than the stronger versions.
Yeah. I'm a
Um,
huge Tatuaje guy, and we're actually me and my coworker Eric are big Tatuaje guys. So like it's between us and Beg and Lou. We
hmm.
actually we became like in the top whatever percent of Tatuaje retailers in the state of Florida. So
Oh wow! Oh, nice, 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 nice. Yeah, yeah. I like tatuajes. I smoke many of like the limited releases that people come out with. I've enjoyed those throughout or most of them. What is the other one that kind of like? Oh boy, you're putting me on the spot, brother.
hey, I try to. I mean, there's a lot of cigar shows out there, and I try to be the most unique. Just like you try to, like your cigar doesn't taste like everybody else's. My show's not like everybody else's. I keep it light, but at the same, I try not to ask the same boring old questions. So,
It well, I liked the Cohiba M. Was it CDM? The cigar was rolled in El Titan de Bronze.
oh,
They called Series M or CDM or something like that. It was a launch there.
I don't. It doesn't ring a bell, but then again, I also don't smoke a lot of Cohiba though.
That
I
was good.
did, I did smoke the Partagas that was done El Titan de Bronze, but
Right. So it was similar size. I think they only make one size. Am I correct? Or they have multiple?
um, I can't remember off the top of my head. I know we just had like one box of that Partagas. It was Partagas de Bronze.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
And
I smoked it and then I messaged Justin Andrews because he was behind it. I was like, "Man, the cigar is good, but it's not this price point good." He was like, "That's what happens when you make cigars in America,
yes,
brother."
they're slightly on the price here. And you know the reason why I kind of like got stuck. I do not know if you remember La Palina. La Palina is
Yeah,
like great.
yeah.
But when La Palina started, this is 5 or 6 or something like that. They came out with cigars made made uh, in Bahamas, Avelino Lara,
Okay.
in the Grey Cliff. You know, like he used to
Yeah, the
run
Great Cliff
the
Factory.
factory, Avelino Lara, and he made those cigars. And I still have a bunch of those left. There was like weird names. Pasha, the torpedo was there. Pasha was a shaggy foot. Um, Phenomenal smokes. And then they released Goldie, La Palina Goldie.
Yep, I remember I've smoked a few Goldies, but they
So the
originally came out like
first time they released Goldie was rolled by Maria Sierra,
okay.
the lady who rolled in. She passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
She was a roller in El Titan de Bronze, and in 2015ish, I guess, yeah, probably 15. I went to Florida and I went to Cayo and took a couple of pictures with her. She rolled me like 10, 15 cigars and said, Mel, this is just for you.
Oh wow. That's awesome. See, that's what cigar culture is all about. To have that type of experience, like you just meet somebody who's like legendary in this arena, and then they do something like that, and then they pass on. But do you have that happy memory to remember them by and
Oh,
to
yeah. Oh, yeah.
pass on the stories and everything? So
Yeah. Yeah. So it's cool. Yeah. So I enjoy all the cigars, honestly.
absolutely, I'm
All the
looking
cigars.
at my notes here because I got us into a rabbit hole, but I'm uh trying to ask something productive here. Da, 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 da. Well, let me ask you this here, because we got off track of M Bombay, got into about how you got into stuff. But if someone lights up an M Bombay cigar for the first time today, what do you hope they feel or experience?
Can you repeat the last word that you said?
I said, if someone lights up an M Bombay cigar for the first time today, what do you hope they feel or experience?
Balance, unique flavor, and balance. Um, when I like, this is not for you or retailers, but people who are casual cigar smokers. I'll
Yeah,
I'll, I'll try to explain it in my word.
yeah,
The flavor or the taste needs to be concentrated. Um, Imagine you have a spoonful of ice cream and you take a glass full of skim milk. Swirl your ice cream around. Take a sip of that. You get that vanilla flavor or the ice cream flavor there,
yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Take that spoonful of ice cream and dunk it in your mouth. What is the difference in the flavors?
The milk,
Milk is more watered down,
yeah.
and that concentration of the flavor with just right away ice cream is different. I want to focus on that intensity of the flavor.
Mm.
Um, and when the flavor comes, it's more about the balance. It's, is it just sweet? Is it just spicy? Is it just bitter or is it just salty? But if I give you a mix, then it is flavorful. And I want the cigar smoker to understand that if he's smoking two cigars at a time, or if he's smoking XYZ brand, and we recommend the cigar based on the wrap, the color of the wrapper, the I just lay that my case right there, saying that this is what you're smoking. This is what happens when you age tobacco properly. This is what happens when you after the production, after rolling cigar, when you sit on it for 3 or 4 more years, this is what you get: the roundness. There is no bitterness going on. There is no sharp edges in your mouth. You don't feel like spitting. Your mouth doesn't smell like ashtray. It's not this. It's no acidity going on. There's no bitterness going on. Your mouth does not become dry. These are all the
Interesting.
factors that I try to present it while he's smoking a cigar.
Oh, absolutely. Now, let's see here. How am I gonna say this here? So I just got a few more questions. So I'm just trying to get my train of thought. My coffee's making my head spin right now.
Wine.
But anyway, so uh, when you this when you came back, got everything to where you are now. Now you're partnered up with Bentley Tobacco, and and they're doing they're doing your brokering, repping, and all that. Um, how did that relationship come about?
Actually, that was coined by a really good friend, and I happened to meet Jonathan, and it just worked out, where he was looking for a partnership like that. He also has two other brands, Hootley and Young, and
Yep,
the Bentley Cigars.
yep,
And there was an opening that he would like to also bring on a line which is unique in its way, different price point, and so the marriage was perfect.
nice. At about how many accounts are you guys up to now since you came back? I know it's like not a huge number, but because
No,
you're having to kind of restart again. But
yeah. So in January, when we kind of like relaunched, we only had like 150,000 cigars that we could sell,
yeah,
and with with our store here in California, and we have like three other stores in California. Not us, but the people that we know and that we used to deal with, and we have like 20 other stores in United States. Those cigars are sold already. I don't have more cigars to sell to anybody right now. We're releasing our next batch in October, so
yeah.
I'd rather play a safe game of having few boxes just in reserve rather than going saying that, oh, I don't have more cigars to sell, or the back order issue.
Yeah, and that's good that you're willing to keep it at a small number so you don't run into that because you got some
No, definitely.
companies.
We are producing around 250,000 cigars a year. That is good for 20 till 2026, 2027, and we are ramping our production. Ramped our production in 2024, but that is going to come in 27 or 28.
Yeah,
So a bit long of a planning, but on it it'll be really hard for me to compromise on the quality or the aging, saying that oh it is ready and what more can happen, and I ship out the cigar which is not aged properly and it doesn't taste the way I want it to taste.
Yeah, and that and those who smoke in Bombay, they know how it's supposed to taste. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
ain't
And
no
you'll be the
ain't
first
no
guy
fooling
to,
us.
you'll be the first guy to bitch, Mel, what's going on?
I would call you up like, yo, what the fuck, bro? What am I supposed to do with this? Now,
So
one more thing, because a lot of times I'm not just talking cigar business, but um, a lot of times companies, they'll come out and then they go out of business. That wasn't the case for you though. You came out, you had to take a little bit of a hiatus, so it's like a breakdown, but then the rebuilding process and
mm,
everything. Like, what's it like, after you came out, you had to kind of, take that hiatus and then rebuild. Um, like, what's that journey like for you, along the way? I know you have to, rebuild the
I have to
trust
rebuild the trust.
with accounts
Yeah,
and
I
all
have
that.
to rebuild the trust. I have to rebuild the trust. I have to convince them that it's hopefully it is not going to happen again.
Yeah,
And it is a process, and I understand that, and we are working on it. We are slowly working on it. Of
absolutely.
course, like if I have given you a shelf space in your store, and tomorrow I decide that I cannot sell you any more cigar, the work that you have put in, hard work that you have put in, training your customers, training your staff, allotting X amount of budget for it for my brand, allotting the space for my brand. It Not everybody was happy that I was coming back.
Yeah. But you know what though, and I don't use the word hustler in the negative sense, but I use it in a positive sense. A true hustler can lose it and get it right back. So I mean, it takes time, but somebody who's out there grinding, for what they love, it's just inevitable that's going to come back bigger and better than ever. So.
No, will. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
But yeah, man. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to share with the audience? I usually try to keep it at an hour, just under an hour with the show. I don't like too much fluff whenever I do interviews. So
Now, well, if you have to all your viewers, um, if you have not tried Mbombay, I would appreciate if you can find yourself a retail store that
we
carries
ship,
it.
baby. We ship. We got a lot to sell. So
And you should give them a call, get a sample pack, see what tobacco, what aged tobacco does, and I'm here to hear your recommendations and your complaints and your concerns about our cigars. And let's see you smoking someday in Bombay.
absolutely. Well, Mel, I appreciate you for being a guest on the show. I'm kind of coming, I've had a couple hiatuses the past year. So, just this making the phone call, getting you on since you haven't been on the show is just that first step for me because, I got to learn how to balance out life better. And part of it's just me being lazy. So I got to kick that laziness out the door. And everybody out there watching, I'm back. So I'm gonna record a few episodes before I start releasing them. So I'll hit you up whenever I get this out. But to everybody out there that tuned in, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, leave comments, share the show with people. And Mel, I'm gonna let you know when we're done recording so we can talk that real shit.
Awesome. Take care, guys.